Hey guys, we're here at NAMM in Anaheim, California, 2012, and we're absolutely delighted to be here at Marshall Amplification. This year celebrating its 50th anniversary, 50 years of loud.
Yep, that's true.
And Nick, great to have you back on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on here at Marshall.
Well, first and foremost, I've changed my name to Dirk Giggler.
All right, Dirk.
Because the movie I made, you know, I was just a stunt double in it. 50th anniversary, 1962 through 2012. What we're doing over here is we'll be celebrating it all year. The actual physical anniversary isn't until September. So we're not doing one of these wham bam, this is nice, wasn't even a big celebration at NAMM, that it's over. We're going to stretch it out and build up to a climax in September using some Dirk Gigglerisms there. But to start off the celebration, we're going to celebrate the 5 decades of Marshall with 5 parodies of 1-watt amplifiers. A 1-watt head for each decade and a 1-watt combo for each decade. And they're right here behind me. So the 1960s is the JTM 1H, which is the 1-watt head, and the 1C, which is the 1-watt combo. All tube, 2 ECC 83s or 1287s, 1 ECC 82 or 12 AU7. It's a Class A BM, it's Class A up until 3/4 of a watt, then it switches up to Class AB. Very simple controls. It's like you don't need a manual for it. If you need one, there's something wrong with you, it's like getting a manual for a hammer or a manual for a fork.
Nick, so this combo, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, this was really the one that was classic 60s blues, you know, blues breakers, Clapton, Mick Taylor, that sort of thing.
JTM 45. I mean, obviously it's not an authentic reissue because they were push-pull amps in the old days. These are 1-watt amps. So what we're doing is we're paying homage to that era in terms of the aesthetics and the sound.
Right.
So we've got JTM in the 60s, JMP in the 70s, which obviously nods to the super leads.
Right. Not
Plexis, by the way, because Plexis stopped in 69. The 80s, surprise, JCM 800 with the 2555 Silver Jubilee, which is part of the family thrown in. 90s DSL, because that's become the go-to amp for a lot of players,
right,
still to this day. At the 2000s, of course, JVM. And the cool thing about these amps is, number one, they're very loud. A good 1-watt amp can kill a bad 10-watt amp.
Yeah.
And these are good 1-watt amps.
Yeah. So what are players now? I mean, for metal using? What do they try? Are they still going with the stacks?
Yeah, metal's a stack. It's a stack-oriented business. Always has been, always will be.
Right.
I mean, more is more, less is less.
Right.
It's all about high gain. Actually, it's not as high gain as you think. I mean, one of the anomalies is, for example, Kerry King from Slayer, who has his own signature Marshall head. Everyone assumes he's doing the scoop, sucking at the mids. He's not. He's actually boosting the mids, which is what the switch on the front of his amp does. And if you think about it, it makes sense. You kind of have a smiley face EQ curve playing South of Heaven. It's got to be a fan.
Right. Makes sense.
So, yeah. So it's not as high gain as people think. A lot of it's to do with how good the player is, if truth be told. It's all about what's going on with that picking head.
Sure.
It's not just a question of cranking up the gain.
And for the beginning player, I mean, are you seeing more interest in some of the smaller practice amps?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we basically do is that the high-end stuff we make, we've always made stuff in England. The first amp was made in England. We've always made stuff in England. But yeah, I mean, we'd like a young player's first amp to be a Marshall. Which is why we make the MG series.
Right.
The one thing we won't do is we will not compromise the brand's integrity by making an amp that's really, really cheap. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Will it sound like a Marshall? No. So we won't do it because it can only have the name on it if it sounds like what it is.
Right.
If it doesn't sound like what it says on the tin, we're letting ourselves down, we're letting our fans down ultimately. So we will never be the cheapest, we will always be the best. Done.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So guys, check it out, 2012, Marshall Amplification. They are iconic, celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. Nick, thank you so much for being on Guitar Shop TV.
Always a pleasure.
We'll be in touch.
That's $50, right?
That's $50, exactly.
Put it in the mail.
It's in the mail, all right.
Thanks, buddy.